Welcome back to the Letdown. Today we've got a guy whose trophy shelf has more structural integrity than half of the 3D targets in Ontario.
He's the hammer behind the Galt Sportsman Club.
The man whose arrows don't fear foam. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest for today's episode, Josh Webb.
Pow.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Letdown. We're joined by Josh Webb today. Welcome to the show, Josh. How you doing?
Wonderful. Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Good to have you, buddy.
Going well.
That's good. That's good. So it's always a rough start here. We always, trying to get into this thing, but want to start with your early days, Josh, as a young archer or younger. I'm actually not sure what age you started at. So let's just rewind. What first got you into the sport of archery?
Well, it was a hunting related inspiration. When I was an apprentice, I was taken up north with one of my journeymen. He was from Sudbury area, and everybody up there hunts. And because he was back to his hometown, we got invited over to a bunch of his friends' places for dinner, and we got served moose, we got served deer, and I fell in love. So I spent a couple of years looking around to try and find a way to acquire these delicious meats. And it turns out that the only way to acquire these delicious meats is to go get them yourself. So long story short, I turned into an archer. Yeah, that was actually a very, very long stretch, but so I would have been about 30 when I picked up my first bow. And I joined, where did I go? I went to Halton Sportsman Club, local. I'm from Milton, and they're in the Milton area. So I joined there, and a couple of the guys there took me under their wing, showed me what to do. And the fellow that ran the archery program there, he says, well, we're having a 3D. Okay, what the heck is a 3D? I was just happy as a pig in shit. I was flinging arrows, not really at anything, not really even in a particular direction. It was kind of scary thinking back. So I went out and I tried this 3D thing, and over 40 targets, I scored 153 points.
Man,
I was
bad
fairly
starting.
happy with myself that I only lost 10 arrows. It
Sounds
was
like my golf game.
It was pretty bad. I had acquired it was an old Bear Whitetail 2 with the old brass pins, no peep, no release aid. I think I was shooting off a rest. It could have been off the shelf, to be perfectly honest. I don't remember. So there was a very steep learning curve. So that's my origins.
Awesome.
Well, you came a long way, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's for
From,
sure.
from
I
losing
wouldn't
10 arrows
recognize
to-
myself.
Yeah.
So sorry,
Oh, I
that was
got
153 over 40 targets?
Yes, sir.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Scoring 12s.
Scoring oh my.
I know a lot
Yeah.
of youths that shoot better than that.
Yeah.
Holy.
So, there's that glimmer of hope for anybody that's wondering how the heck you improve your scores. It can be done.
Well, let's get into that then. So let's be honest. You've won a lot. Can you give us a highlight reel of some of your favorite wins? Some of your
I have, what do I have? I have 3 first place provincial 3Ds. I believe I have 1 first place provincial field. I don't think I've ever actually stand on top of the podium on a target round. As good as it is for you, Justin will agree with this. As good as it is for you, I hate it. Shooting target outside is just, yeah, let's stand in the sun and get sunburns, and it's good for you, but not the sunburn part. Yeah. What else? A couple of years ago, we did field nationals in Michigan. I took third there. Yeah, I mean we've kind of traveled all over the place. We've done a whole host of things. I'd say those are kind of my big highlights.
So what would be the win you're most proud of overall over everything you've done? What's the
Not sure what year it was. Ontario, I believe it was just before COVID, so 2019-ish. Ontario or AO, Archery Ontario, decided to do an ASA Triple Crown. And in the same spirit as ASA, they had a belt buckle. And I won that belt.
nice?
Very nice.
So I have an Ontario ASA belt buckle in my possession.
Do they still do
So
the
that
belt
was-
buckles?
They only ever did that series the 1 year. Unfortunately, it was largely hosted by Durham Archers. And even that was, I believe, the first year after they lost that property. So they hosted their leg of it through Peterborough, I believe it was. And yeah, just and then COVID followed that, so everything kind of fell apart, unfortunately.
That's actually pretty cool.
How big of a buckle we talking here?
Easy now. I don't know. It's like it's a Western buckle. Like it's a nice buckle.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got the little fleur de lis in the middle and ASA credit. It's sharp.
Did
They
you
kept
ever
it
wear
neat
that
and tidy. They did a really good job.
Did you ever wear it to future events just to intimidate your competition at all?
It is still in the original packaging.
Yeah. What? You haven't
It's-
even opened it?
Sure. Uh-huh.
No, it's clear packaging. So I
Oh,
mean, I get
okay.
to look at it, but no, I have a wall in my basement that has my memorabilia, and it's amongst that. I've won a couple of Triple Crowns, so I have some of those plaques down there. I have the provincial medals. So yeah.
I was just showing off.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So
All right,
what's the those are the win you're most proud of? What's the loss that still wakes you up at 3 a.m.?
Oh,
could be a second place.
You know what?
Missed out by points.
Well, there's plenty of those. I mean, I think I've got 3 second place provincial medals, and 2 of them were by 1 point.
Oof.
Yeah. And that's like an old, 80 targets. So you're talking a
right.
total of, 800, 900 and something points, whatever. And 1 point split us. The last time I did that, it was actually me, Larry Reed, and Dave Schnarr, and 1 point spread the 3 of us.
Wow.
Larry and I were tied. He had me by 1x.
Crazy.
Jesus.
So, I mean, but you can't really be down about it because, we all shot a solid game. He shot better than I did that weekend. And my hat goes off to him.
Yeah. Awesome. So, it's, I think we go back to talking to Bruno. We talked a little bit about mental game. What do you think separates the good shooters from like a championship level shooter?
Focus.
That's it. Just focus.
Just focus?
I am thoroughly convinced the squirrels are what cost me most of my points. I will hold solid on a target. I will go through my shot process. And just as I start into my pull through and something shiny. And there it goes. All of a sudden, that upper 12 that I was shooting at became a 5.
Yeah. Actually, I
Um,
remember you and I were shooting once, and you took a shot, and you're like, it happens at least once every round. You said, I think you'd hit a 5, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, interesting. So focus.
I have countless scorecards with 1-8. One, it's infuriating. You shoot a clean round, it's great, and all of a sudden there's an 8 going
yeah, a
little
lot of my
snowman
scorecards
just-
have a bunch of 5s on it. So
I got a few 5s.
Just-
I got a few
You know
5s.
what? 153. Just remember that.
That's
I can't even remember my worst score. I can't remember my first. I can't even remember my first tournament. And I've only been shooting. Man, I'm old. I must have Alzheimer's though, because
Gee.
I've only been shooting for 6 years, really, competitively. So
yeah,
I remember the one I do remember is the 2023 provincials, and I bring it up every friggin' show. Where I was dead last. 2023 provincials, K50, and it was the worst feeling ever. And you think to yourself, you're like, oh man, everyone must think I'm an idiot, but
20 is that the year Mason won?
Yeah, Mason won. I think you and Bruno came second and third in that one.
No, it was Mason, me, and Matodi.
Matodi, right? Matodi.
Yeah. I think I was like 6th or 7th on the end of day one, and somehow I pulled out an 18 up on the second day.
wow.
It's that focus,
And
man.
I wish.
Claude, yeah, the squirrels went away that day.
Well, like Julian brought up an interesting point last show, because he was saying that a lot of these championships are won on the second day, because that's where guys are either lose their focus, and I'm just connected to what you're saying about focus. I think that's where guys really either they maintain that focus or they lose it, because it's especially like 2023 provincials was that 40 round days, right? You had the day one was 40 targets and day two was 40 targets. It's hard to keep climbing.
Aim's a tough course.
Yeah, it's a tough course.
There's a lot of climbing,
the ups and downs.
I've watched people slide down those hills. I've almost taken a ride down some of those hills. And actually, they've shortened that course. Really? The first year I shot that one, we went all the way back to the hydro line. And there was probably 5 targets back into the hydro line. So probably a third again as much walking. And that's through all those hills. It's awesome shooting. It's awesome terrain to shoot on. It's a grueling hike.
It is, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, you got to tire the people out, Buck.
What's that?
So it's going to tire a lot of the archers out. Just a lot of the walking.
Just the old guys.
It's the old guys.
I was tired, that's for sure. I'm old, so I can attest to that.
So how do you bounce back from a bad arrow? Like when you're shooting competitively on the big stage with Bruno and Matodi and all those other guys, how do you bounce back from a shitty arrow?
It's gone. It left my bow. I can't do anything about it.
I like that answer.
Well, really, I mean, what else are you going to do? You can dwell on it and you can analyze your shot, which to some extent, as long as you don't beat it to death, you do want to pay attention to what you did wrong. So if you pluck the shot off, towards the end of a long day, I'll start getting a little bit fatigued and I'll start plucking the shots off. And almost guaranteed you'll see my arrow go 9, 10 o'clock. Just the way I pluck it off, that's where they go. If I start getting a little bit too aggressive, then I'll drop them 4 or 5 o'clock. So I don't really have to analyze my shot. I just look at where the arrow went and I know what I did. But that's 17 years of shooting. So I look at it, okay, well, yep, I know I plucked that one off. I know I have to pay a little bit more attention to whatever I did wrong. If it's a tough float, okay, then I got to concentrate on my float. So the next arrow is just go through the shot process. Bring up the bow, come to anchor. The back end will happen in this case, and you work on the front end. So it's hard focus on your target. If you're holding well, then maybe a little bit more attention to the back end and make sure you come through your arrow or through your shot. Just focus on, again, focus. Focus on your process, focus on the next shot, because you can't do anything about the last one.
Is there any part of your routine? Is there any part of your routine that you find different from other people's?
How so? Like, are we talking form? Are we talking process? Are we talking
Both.
form? Uh, you take 3 different guys, you got 3 different forms. I mean, it might be smaller things. I have a fairly dynamic or a fairly aggressive shot. My back end is very explosive. Like there's no, my hand doesn't do that. It flies out behind me. Because I put a lot of pressure on the back end. I have had bows in the past that I detuned it through the shot because as you draw through, the cams start doing this as you're drawing harder and harder and harder. You're actually bending things. So not to say that this is particularly unique, but it's certainly that's my shot process.
Nice.
How long did it take you from when you first started to find the shot process that worked for you and to get the proper form?
It's still developing.
After 17 years?
Yep.
Fuck. I got no
Yep.
hope then. All right.
No, sure you do.
So as your body changes, right? Like I said it the other day, it's kind of, I'm on the downslope, but not actually, I was kidding. But as your body changes, so my vision is changing. I have to wear stronger contacts now. So I'll start having to play around with, different apertures, different lenses, different clarifiers. My physique is not the same, so I don't have the same muscle through my shoulders anymore. So this has a tendency to start creeping on me. Um, so yeah, trying to constantly modify it to go along with what my body seems to want to do. I think it's the basic form of what I'm doing now came from my most recent coach,
Who was your most recent coach?
Coach G. He coaches in upstate New York. At least he did. I'm not sure if he is still coaching. But yeah, he's Danielle and I went down and saw him. It would have been somewhere around 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. Started taking lessons, and really it was some small tweaks. Slight change in hand position. I changed my stance to a slightly more open stance. Just trying to gain just that slight margin more stability.
awesome. Who were you like some of your when you first started when you first started competing anyways? Who are you kind of your first mentors in the
That
game
was
around
a constant evolution.
or guys you looked up to at that time?
So, some of the first people I met they were actually field shooters. Some of them actually don't even shoot anymore around here, unfortunately. Evoy, Westby, a bunch of them. I think you guys know Andrew Westby. So I started shooting with guys like that, and that was sort of my benchmark. And okay, well, start coming up to that. And then I met guys like, Dave McQuaker and Blake Kitching. Okay, well, that's my new benchmark. Okay, let's see if we can start shooting up to that. And then somewhere in the mix, I ended up shooting a couple of rounds with Christopher Perkins, which, okay, I'm still working on that benchmark.
I think we're all trying to get to that.
Yeah, right. And yeah, I mean, sort of along the lines, you just sort of keep setting goals. And, I've heard you guys mention it a couple of times. If you get to shoot with different levels of people, you can bring your game up. Just be it focus, be it, maybe a little tidbits that somebody gives you. It's probably one of the most accommodating communities that I have ever seen. Everybody wants to help. In fact, you're probably you have a bigger problem trying to sift through all of the knowledge that people are trying to share with you. You take little tidbits and I think it was Dave McQuaker, actually, way back. He made some comment. He wasn't even to me. I was just eavesdropping. And he says, well, you have to have an open hand on your front hand. I'm thinking, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I was strangling the bow. So, I did that, and all of a sudden, I think the next round I shot was, 50 points higher.
Right.
Simple little things that you don't even know that you're doing them. It's so easy to, what my footing is. I've really got to work on my footing. So you focus on that, and then all of a sudden, something else collapses. But you're so focused that you miss this, right? So that constant evolution and those constant little tidbits, they keep helping you come up higher and higher and higher. And then, yeah, surrounding yourself with people that are shooting better than you. Um, I love going and shooting with, the guys in the ASA, because they're all better shooters than I am. Yeah, and you get to learn little tidbits and, little things that they're doing that make their game better. Sometimes you can adopt it. Sometimes you can't.
Right. I think, dude, it's the competition, right? We're all especially when you're a tournament archer, you're competitive no matter what level you're at. Like, I know for me, and these guys I know Justin definitely will attest to it. I'm really hard on myself, and
Oh yeah.
I'm super competitive, but I like shooting with people that are better than me. Not to say that I won't shoot anyone who's not better than me, whatever, and judgment against them, but I like shooting with people that are better than me. And to me, it drives me to get better because, like when Justin and I first started out, I remember I was smoking him. I was, every time we'd go out, I'd kill him, and then he was getting closer, 10 points, 5 points, and then he started beating me. Now we exchange every once in a while, right? And I think it drives both of us, and it's really healthy. And it's one of the things that Valerie, when she put together the 3D team, that was her idea, is like, you're gonna get, you're gonna shoot with everybody. You're gonna shoot with the worst guys, and you're gonna shoot with the best guys. And the worst guys are gonna learn from the best guys, and even the best guys you're gonna learn from the worst guys too, right?
Absolutely.
You're gonna learn from them as well, because they have things like, sure, Justin's he's middle of the range shooter, but the guy's got a mental game like you wouldn't believe, because nothing shakes him. He's always smiling. He doesn't get ticked. He makes a bad shot, he laughs it off. Next thing, he's moved on to the next target. So whereas I'm like I'm 10 targets in, and I scored a 5-10 targets ago, and I'm like, this game's over. I don't even want to do this anymore. Uh, so I shot with a guy at 2023 provincials. He hit a 5, and he's like, yeah, I'm done. And he actually left.
What?
See, I don't have that choice because normally my shooting partner is my wife, and she's better than I am. So,
I know that feeling. So I know that
yeah,
feeling.
right.
Dude,
Well,
if
yes,
I
last
had-
night we were out shooting league, and she got me by 1 point. So,
Nice.
okay, well, next week's gonna have to be all right. I got to push for that extra point, and we constantly go back and forth.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like we're probably our two biggest drivers against each other.
it's
Yeah,
always
like,
good to have someone to push you.
that's actually really handy to have. So I know, like, Valerie and I shoot together a lot. Like, she's the person I shoot with the most. I think I've beat her maybe once or twice. Like, I beat her at 3D now, because she's not really she's not really into the 3D game. I know I constantly push her because I just love the game so much. But every other game, like spots, I know we haven't shot field yet, but I'm sure field she'll destroy me. The 50 meter, which I'm like you, I can't stand it. It's so boring standing in the sun and shooting 50 meters, shooting 6 arrows at a time, and 50 meters. Like where it's field, like it's four, and you get different various distances, which I think is a lot more fun. I can't wait to
Field's
try
where
it
it
next
is.
year. Actually, yeah, I can't wait to try it.
Field's where it's at.
Yeah.
I'm actually this weekend I'm putting together Galt's field course.
Nice.
Awesome.
So
My goal is to shoot that
that's-
next year.
That's
well, you'll love it. It bridges I believe if you have any hope in bringing a 3D shooter to shoot spots, field is that's the bridge point. Because you still get to wander through the forest. It's exactly like shooting 3D, just you're shooting symmetrical circles. The excuse game is gone. There are no more excuses anymore. Oh shoot, I didn't shoot it right in the middle of the circle. It's not I couldn't see the white circle.
I swear
Right?
the vitals were right
Yeah.
here.
Oh man, my yardage was off. Oh, hang on, there's a yardage marker right at my toes. Yeah. Yeah. No, there's no excuses. It's just you learn to shoot. You learn to shoot really well. And because you get to do, unlike 3D where it's one arrow, it's one and done. Did you do it right? Hopefully. With field, you get 4 cracks at that same target. So now all of a sudden, okay, well, did I do it right? I'm not quite sure. You get 3 more tries to find out whether or not you did it right.
That sounds like a good letdown YouTube thing for us to 4 of us to all go out and maybe shoot some field at Galt.
I'll
Oh,
be a
that's
letdown,
actually
don't worry.
yeah,
I'll be
that's
the
that's a
letdown.
good segue into the
Standing
next
invite.
yeah,
Standing invite. I'd
All
love to
right.
have you guys out.
I'm in. Yeah, that's a good segue into how did you first end up at Galt?
So let's backtrack it a little bit. After my start at Halton, I was a member there for 5 years ish. About 2-3 years in, I decided that I wanted to take a crack at this running a 3D thing. So I took over the archery chair position there for I think it was about a year, maybe 2. Bought a bunch of targets. They were a lot cheaper then. Got the course set up really well. And I had this bigger vision, which it was a really happy, sort of a quick segue. It was a really happy day when I found out that the FDCC was doing their cup or triple crown or whatever you want to call it. I had the same idea to try and bring together a couple of clubs in that area. At the time, it was Halton, Royal, and I don't remember who the other club was. Maybe Hamilton. Oh no, sorry, it was Galt. It was Galt. But I didn't have the time to run it, and the chairs at the other clubs didn't really have the drive to run it. So it kind of fell on its face. And then when exactly what I had sort of envisioned 10 years earlier all of a sudden happened, man, that was a happy day. But back on track, I left Halton, got into Galt actually for handgun shooting, and had chatted with Martin and Ed, who were the chairs at Galt at the time. And, they had sort of really not expressed any interest in stepping down. So I thought, okay, well, whatever. I'm just going to shoot here and enjoy it. And then I guess it was about 2 years ago, I kind of got voluntold into the position. Martin came up to me and says, yeah, I think I'm gonna step down. And I think you might be a good candidate. So I said I'd be willing to take it. So that's how that whole thing evolved.
So voluntold, but you were looking to do it anyways, right?
I had suggested that I would be interested for several years, and then I had left it alone. And then all of a sudden he says, well, now's your time. So
And when was that? When did you take over that position, archery director? there
I've
at
had the
Galt?
position for a year and a half now, I guess.
Okay.
I'm slowly modifying things, slowly adding things. I have grand ideas, and little time to try and execute them. So unfortunately, it means they'll happen, but they're slower.
So when you took over Galt, at least the archery portion, what was the first thing you wanted to improve?
So Galt already had a very, very good 3D course. All Reinhardt targets, generally fairly new. They were pretty good about keeping newer cores around. And actually a couple of tournaments this year, middle of middle of the day, all of a sudden I'm getting reports that, there's a shot out core. Fortunately, I have a couple of cores that I can just grab it, run it out, replace it. I'm not changing the course. I'm just making it so that the core is better. So, they were in really good shape. They had built a couple of platforms. They had, there was a lot of really good features there. The only thing I ever found with it had kind of gotten a little bit stale, because they didn't really change their lanes that much. Now, I don't believe that. I know you like changing them daily. Um,
Well, not
I
daily, but
well, I would love to change it daily because it's exciting when you get a new course. Um, but there's only so many things you can do when you've got pre-cut lanes.
yep, I agree.
And far too many times over the years, I've seen guys at clubs burn out because they tried to put too much in too fast. So I'm trying to just sort of pace things a little bit. I'm not going to go out, and if I can make a couple of modifications, say once a year, something like that, maybe even every 6 months, that's kind of right on par for me. Otherwise, as I said earlier, this weekend I'll be putting in our field course. We're going to have a 14 target IFAA, NFAA field course. It should allow hosting a world archery round down the road.
That's cool.
That would be cool.
I'm not so much a fan of world archery. It's a lot less arrows. World archery is 72 arrows, and there's no walk-ups, there's no fans, and you get to shoot bunnies from 20 meters, 25 meters, which is a really small target at that distance. The IFAA, you get all of your fans, you get all of your walk-ups. You're shooting from 80 meters, and you're shooting 112 arrows.
Wow.
And
That's
it's 112 arrows. Typically, you're shooting that in about 3/4 of the time that it'll take you to shoot 40 arrows in a 3D course.
That's crazy.
So if shooting's your game, as opposed to being 3D, if it's just you want to go out and shoot, man, you get a lot more arrows in a field round.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I always say that I just like shooting my bow, right? So that's why I don't. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, spots indoors is boring. This is boring, but I just like shooting my bow. I like, obviously, I need some work as you and I saw last night. I got a bit of a chicken wing going on, but I get the little that little thing that happens every once in a while.
I'll bring my push pin next week.
Yes, I will take that training, sir. I'll look like a heroin addict. I have a little push pin on my elbow, but yes.
Where are you guys shooting indoor?
Caledon.
At Caledon. My wife is the president at Caledon, so we are members there and Galt, obviously.
How convenient.
So we do both.
That's awesome.
Don't you guys have indoor at Galt?
So at Galt we have an indoor handgun range, which is heated, but because it's a handgun range first, the handguns take precedence.
Okay.
I believe there are 2 nights a week. As we just said, when I shoot indoor, I just shoot a cow. So I'm not exactly sure which days it is, but I believe it's 2 nights a week where archers get precedence in the indoor range. It is 20 yards. We have, I think we've got about a half dozen warthog bales that we can slide in there, and we keep some world archery faces on hand, so you can get a scoring round. But yeah, it is unfortunately limited to only a couple of days a week.
Okay.
You guys, when you hosted the FDCC, that was probably one of the most fun courses I've shot personally. But it
Thank you.
was fucking hot.
It was way too
And
I
hot.
ordered that heat, I
Yeah.
swear.
And
Did
hats
you?
off
Yeah,
to
okay.
you and all the volunteers that went around with water all day. I had a water bottle on me at all times, thanks to you guys. Otherwise, I probably would have passed out. But yeah, it was a great course. It was really hot that day.
That was
Yeah, and well run, like Misha was saying, like that water, just getting the water out there, because I remember I went around with Sean once, and this he this I've been to a couple of shoots where, you go to a cooler and you're dying of thirst, open it up and there's nothing in there. But that's one thing people coming off the course at Galt were saying is I walked up to every cooler, and every time I walked up there was a bottle of water in it. So hats off to you guys, especially in that heat, man. And Sean went up there to. So Sean is one of the guys who I don't know, is he co-director? Is he?
He's a treasurer / yeah,
Okay,
he's
yeah,
another
yeah.
director.
Okay, so and then he was I know he pulled a couple of guys off the course that were one guy actually was close to passing. He found him throwing up with his head between his knees, and
That sucks.
they took him to it was nice. You guys have a clubhouse there that's air conditioned. They took him there, and the ladies there were very sweet as well. Like, they gave him a fan, they gave him ice he could put on himself. And I remember telling him, like, as he's getting carted away, I said, "Dude, whatever you do, don't leave without telling us you're leaving. Like, just take an hour to get your head straight before you go, because you're gonna have like a pounding headache, and the last thing we want you to do is drive home not feeling well, right?" So, but yeah, hats off to you guys, like, with that heat. Like, I think at one point it was 46 degrees Celsius, which
She was hot.
Oof.
it's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot.
I didn't even pay attention. I was
Yeah.
just, I mean, I was sweating buckets, and I think we went through, it was about 12 cases of water that day. It was just crazy. And yeah, I mean, I think I was afraid we were actually getting a little bit too aggressive with trying to hand out water, but I would rather guys say exactly that, there was no shortage, than, they were getting dry, especially in that heat.
Well,
There were a number of people that tapped out. There were, unfortunately, I think there was 2 or 3 that we did have to, like, they had to call the day. There were a couple of the older gentlemen that we went and like, we drove them through the back half of the course, so they didn't have to walk it. Um, Again, we have a pretty good facility. We have golf carts and things like that, so it's pretty easy to be able to run a couple of guys around like that. And yeah, I mean, it was really handy.
Yeah, I'm
all
gonna
I
have to
remember
grab
from
like a portable fan or something, the one that like sits on your neck. So the next time I shoot,
Yeah,
there.
if you had one of those Milwaukee fans, it's about this big, that might have been adequate that day.
Because I had
Just
one of those
carry it
neck
around
fans.
with
It
you.
did zero. It made me
Car battery on your back and a
yeah.
Milwaukee fan in front of you. Yeah.
you're up at
Yeah.
full draw, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
There's the fans in the way.
Like, I was melting just sitting at the picnic table waiting for you guys to come off and take your scores. So it was hot, man. It was hot.
It was a tough day.
Well, what got me was when you got close to the grass, because it held the humidity. Like, when you got into that open area where it was all grass and you were shooting uphill at the elk, I think it was elk or
The goat.
caribou.
I
Mountain
never
goat.
actually got to shoot my course.
Whatever it was a caribou or something. It was up on top of the hill, like it was all grass. So, like, you're standing in
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
grass, so you're like full draw, and you can just feel the sun, and then the grass coming at you. That's holding the humidity. It's like it's baking you from all
So
sides.
right behind that is a swamp. So yeah,
Okay, yeah,
there's a lot of humidity there.
yeah, but like you're even walking up through to go get your arrow, it was really like you could feel it all around. You're like, oh, I just want to die.
That was not a fun day.
No.
That's the one problem I've always had with, setting your, like, being a course setter and hosting a shoot. I won't shoot my own shoots, but at the same time, you're setting up a course in a way that you want to shoot it,
Yeah.
and then you
That's
don't
the
get to
worst
shoot
part.
it. It's really
That's
frustrating.
the worst part.
I mean, I got to go through with CJ and Gary the day before, just kind of do a quick look through, and I took a couple of the shots that I knew I really wanted to shoot because like they were sort of one-offs. But yeah, it would have been cool to go through and actually do a tournament through that. Maybe not in that heat, but
Yeah. So, like, one of the shots that are, like, because I didn't get to, I went around, I looked at some of the shots. I remember that there's that FDC signature shot where you shoot against CJ and Gary and Josh from Caribou Media. The bear with the mosquito on his butt.
Love that bear.
That was kind of that was a really cool shot. But the coolest shot had to be the gator with so you're on a you're on a stand and the
Yeah.
wall falls away and you're shooting down at a gator from almost 90 degrees, like from up down, right? So when you're setting up your shoot, like we all have different philosophies, right? Like Justin, I know Justin likes to play with shadows. He likes to use trees. He likes to block things. He likes to just be a jerk, really. Let's be honest. But so my thing is I like to set up like hunting scenes. I like scenes. So as a kid, I love dioramas. So for me, when I set up a 3D thing, I like to see something I would see if I'm hunting, right? Like the moose by the water is one of my favorite ones because it's like a lot of times you're moose hunting. That's when you see the moose and he's got his head behind the tree, and that's when you're going to take your shot because he can't see you. And that's the kind of shot I like to set up. So when you're doing your 3D, how are you thinking about it? What's going through your head there?
Well, a lot of it's just playing with whatever terrain you happen to have to work with. And I mean, outside of that, setting up a course is an art. I've countless times I've heard people say, "Oh, I'd really love to come out and give you a hand." Well, but how do you explain art? Because like those shots are art. You get something in your mind, and you see a tree, you see a shadow, you see there's a hole in the canopy, so you're going to get a light beam, whatever it be. And you look at it and go, yeah, like there's a dark little hole with one little light beam, and if I get that light beam to shine down on like a white wolf, oh, uh, I would hate me if I set up that target, but I would do that. So yeah, it's what can you play with? What's there? Justin and I have had this conversation in the past. Everybody's got their own style. I think if you shoot one club regularly, so for you guys, if you shoot Royal while Justin shot it or set up everything, and then somebody else just randomly, somebody else goes in and changes everything up, it's not going to have Justin's feel. And I think that's kind of important because you are creating a scene, you're creating a scenario, you're creating a problem that you have to solve.
Uh-huh.
If it is light, okay, well, how do I manage the light? How do I, whatever the case. So to say there's any one particular thing that I'm looking for, just try and work with whatever you've got. I do try and balance my distances. You'll never see me set up a course without at least one max distance shot. I really like doing 3 to 8 yard shots too, but that gets really tough on the targets.
Yes, it does.
I like novelty shots too, hence mosquito on the bear's butt. Or a trap door.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yep,
How many
that
trap
was-
doors have you shot through?
That was the first one.
Yeah, that was my
That
first
was,
one.
and that was so cool. I get up there, I'm like, well, what are we shooting at? The alligator down there. I go, I'm supposed to shoot over this, like the wall, and she goes, no, put your foot on the thing and it'll lift it up. I'm like, bullshit. And of course, yeah, I lift right up. I'm like, this is fucking cool. Like, we got to get one of those at Rose City Inn. Like,
Yeah, unfortunately, somebody let a crane operator put together an archery course.
It worked.
And yes, I just happen to have pulleys and cables sitting around.
We had a couple of people come out with some arm slappers off of that one, right? Because because that extreme angle, a lot of people don't practice that shot or it doesn't even enter their mind how to make that shot.
got a hinge at the hips.
Yeah, it's you
Right.
up and then you pivot.
Yeah. You
I
don't
remember,
just
I
put
remember
your arm
Aaron,
down.
I think Aaron Lee stripped her whole bow down. She took her stabilizers off and what have you, and took the shot.
Really?
She made a good shot. Yeah, she made a good shot too. So
I was
uh,
excited.
So
I got a
I
12
saw
on him.
2 people that shoot field regularly, and they both pinwheeled it.
there you go.
There's your field pitch.
That tells you a
Um,
lot right there, guys. Start shooting field.
but so Tony Merrick came up to me and he says, I've worked out right down to the half yard, all of my cuts, all the way down to the end of his stabilizer. And he looks at me and says, I have no idea what to shoot this for. And I just grinned at him. So that's a reward in and of itself. Having successful shooters be able to go up to a course like that and go,
That's pretty awesome, actually. That is awesome.
to be able to stump guys when, I a newer person that just doesn't know about that. Like there were a number of people that I kind of coached them through that shot,
Oh, that's cool.
just to make sure that they didn't hurt themselves. But yeah, outside of that, it was really cool to watch just the confusion and okay, well, like I said, how do I work my way through this problem? So
would
break
you
it down,
say-
analyze it. If
would-
you're hearing the grumbling, that's my dog snoring.
All right. I thought you were.
was like,
I
what
thought
was
you were
that?
just letting it rip.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this guy's got a stomach ache or something.
Yeah, the joy of having a French bulldog that likes to snuggle in your lap.
Would you say that those are your favorite types of targets to set up, or are there closer ones just to mess with people?
There it is. Anything that's just not normal. So the window shot on the caribou, right by the where the mosquito was. Like I put a lot of work into trying to get the grass cut just so it was at his belly. And then I went through and I had to trim it again for the barebow guys. And I went back to my shot for the compound guys and I had messed it up. But yeah, being able to make that little scene where, I had grass right up to his belly. So, you still get the full target. That's kind of one rule for me is if the legs aren't there, that's fine.
Yeah.
If its butt isn't there, that's fine. But you need to see the target.
Yeah. And you definitely don't want to piss off the barebow guys. So I just
yeah. Some of them are, I think, more brutal than us. I don't know if you've ever shot with Alex Melnick, but he is. I shot the Dirty Dozen or whatever Carl was calling it a couple of years ago at Carl's with him. And, 100-yard or 80-yard shot or whatever it is that Carl had. And Alex is out there doing that with his barebow. Like, and hitting the target too.
No, but
like
he's on another level, that guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's on another level. I'm hoping actually I'm gonna have a couple of barebow guys on soon. Dylan Bravener from our club, and then I'm hoping to connect with Alex and have him on. It'd be interesting. It's an interesting version of the sport, anyways, for sure. Like I do enjoy just taking a stick and a bow, stick and a string. I mean, and just going out and shoot. It's challenging. I remember when I did the frozen finger at Galt 2 years ago. It was a blast. I don't think I started hitting anything until about 20 targets in. But once I started hitting things, it's like it's so much fun. It is a lot of fun. So
I find that because I have no expectations, it's just giggles.
Yeah, that's what I was just there to have fun. Yeah, it was awesome.
And I mean, I've got all of that. I think I've got 3 trad bows. I've got a couple of compounds. All aspects are they're hilarious. The only thing I probably won't do much anymore is a crossbow for 3D because if I want to shoot a gun, I'll just go shoot a gun. Yeah,
I think we all agree with that one in this on this panel, anyways.
Dude,
to be fair, I mean, I can't shoot it nearly as well as I shoot my compound. So, after having done it, that's part of the reason I shoot all of the other ones is just to have the appreciation for what they all do.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't shoot a crossbow nearly as well as I shoot compound. So to see a guy with a crossbow come out and put up a really high score, I mean, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Kudos.
dude, I want
For
to make
sure.
my own trad bow so bad. Yeah.
Is Calvin still a member of your club?
He would be, what would you call it? So
Vice
alumni, like those, like him, Gord Wood, Peter Smith, Denise and her husband. They would all be like
Karen.
alumni. So they always get when if they call me and say I want to come on, I give them a key, and I say have at it. So uh, I talk to Calvin once in a while, but he doesn't come up to the club as often. I think I'm not sure if he's trying to move up north or something. But anyways, yeah, I know I'm not even sure if he still makes bows or not, but he makes
But if
he
you
makes
wanted
some
to
nice
make your
trad
own
bows.
bow,
Yeah,
he's one of the guys you want to
for
talk
sure.
to.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's made several bows.
And they're nice.
Like he backs them with I think he had one with like a snakeskin backing on it.
Mhm.
Nice.
Like and he does it all himself. Like they're all self bows.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, they're nice. They're really
Yeah.
nice.
So I've been seeing, I don't know if you guys follow Bear Newcomb at all. It's Clay Newcomb's son. He made his own
Okay.
bow and he used snake skin as well. And
Right
I'm
on.
like, dude, like I want to make one. Like I'm a carpenter by trade, so like I can. It's just, is it gonna work after? I don't know. You know,
Yeah,
but
because there's little
that'd be a cool
tricks, right, to
experience, man.
getting there's little tricks to getting the
Yeah,
bend right and everything, right?
yeah,
So
All
it's
the self bow guys that I know, they really like their ironwood. And then yeah, to go out and find just a straight section of like a 6, 7, 8 foot straight section of ironwood, and then split it down so you got quarters, and those become your staves. And then yeah, you whittle them. Well, you got to do the drying process. You know probably know more about that than I do, but um, yeah, like I've seen some really cool bows come out. Galt's frozen finger um, it used to be kind of like a medieval party. Everybody dressed up in medieval garb. It was really cool. The first time I ever went, like it was still that old crowd. Everybody was fully dressed out. And there was a fella, I want to say he was about 6'9", just towered over me. And he's got a self bow, and the thing is 120 pounds.
Holy
And he
shit.
made it himself. So, there's your goal.
120
dude, that's
pounds.
like the war bows, like the old English longbows. Those things, 120 to 150 pound draw on those
And
things,
the
man.
bow itself was 7 foot long.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, he had to be 6'9" to be able to shoot the damn thing. Like I'd try and shoot it, and I'd have to shoot it like a horse bow. I'd shoot it in the bottom third, and that I haven't done. I've never done the horse bow thing. I think that'd be cool.
I haven't shot one of those.
I don't know, man.
No, no. You know what? I made it through a bunch of different disciplines, and I think I stopped when it came to fishing because
Okay.
still hands down one of my favorite shooting to do.
Oh, it's a blast. Like yeah, I know I asked you about this year, and I started shooting just in our pond. I started shooting fish, and it is such a blast. The first time I hit one, I don't think I've been that excited since I was like maybe 10 catching a big northern pike, and it's just an ugly old stinky carp. But once you get one on the end of your arrow, they roll. It's like it's so awesome. And you're pulling it, and I was with Justin actually the first time I
Yeah, I
got
got it
it.
on a video.
You could hear us screaming right, like a couple of kids, man. It was awesome. Yeah, it's so much fun. Like I'm gonna try to get more people into it this year too. So sorry, 2026. I'm gonna try to get some people into it. And I know I got Benoit Boulet into it. He hasn't hit a fish yet though, so
I need
Dude,
to
I
try
got
there's
one.
6 this year. I was pretty happy with that. I got 6 fish this year. So
There's some fat
That's too
ones
bad.
in there, man.
oh, there's some big
Mhm.
carp
There's
in
some
there.
big ones for sure.
So it's cool to have a big one, but the small ones are the harder targets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
know.
You want to impress me? Show me a 1 pound carp on the end of your arrow.
But
And it's
the
hard to it's hard to believe. Even like I think the couple I got that were maybe 3 or 4 pounds. They fight like crazy, man.
Oh yeah,
They're a tough fish for sure. Tough
you know,
fish.
my
tough
best is
fish with an arrow
34
through it.
pounds.
34
34-pound carp.
pounds.
Holy shit!
Jeepers.
Like, how big is that? Is that like this by like this fat around? Is that
Oh, it was I don't know. It was that, and I don't know. I'd remind me sometime. I'll show you a picture. He was probably 3 foot long, and just
holy crap?
shaped like a football.
That's fucking crazy.
That's awesome.
Lots of 25 pounders. We were out. A couple of us were out in my little. I had a John boat, and anchored into a 25-pound carp, and it just started dragging us around.
Remoter?
You don't need one. Just
Yeah,
shoot
that's what
one
I-
carp; it'll drag you to the rest of the carp. Good.
When you're archery fishing, though, you have to aim. Is it higher or lower than where you see them in the water?
Under. Refraction is under.
Under. Okay.
Yeah. And the deeper it is, the further under you have to aim.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The best
So
advice
I'm really
I got
good at
is
hitting surface fish.
the best advice I got is when you think you're low enough, go a little bit lower.
Yep.
And I used
Yep.
that every time I did it. I was like, okay, I think I'm low enough, and I would just drop it an inch, and then boom, I was smoking them every time. So
I had one. I want to say I was aiming. I thought it was a solid 2 feet underneath it, and I still shot over the damn fish.
Jesus.
yeah, when they're deep, it's hard to.
Well,
It's tough.
I watched Chris get one. So it's getting dark, and I don't even know how he's seen this stupid thing, but we're by the bank, by the 70 meter range. So he's there, and he's like, "There's one there." I'm like, "I don't see it." Like, I have my polarized glass. I'm like, "I don't see a damn thing." And he's like, "It's right there." He's like, "Bang!" Did he not smoke one?
It's a surface one, yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't even know how you've seen the damn thing. I'm like, he's like, "There's one there." I'm like, "No, there isn't." He's like, "Yeah, watch." I smoked it.
We could do a whole episode on fishing, on boat fishing.
He's
honestly.
one with nature, man. He's
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well,
It's an awful lot of fun.
It is.
It's a blast, but I suck. So
Yeah, it's just like, that thing's full of carp, couple pike, and a big ass alligator snapping turtle.
there's a
There's
few of
couple
them.
turtles
Yeah,
in
There's
there.
a few
couple
of
in
them.
there.
A few.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what we're feeding every time we kill a carp. So I just wanted to sort of go. So we were talking about the FDCC, these types of joint events with various clubs. I know it's happened in the past, and I think I think when I remember I talked to Court Shields. I think he said what killed that Triple Crown event was COVID, right? He was saying that COVID and I guess Durham Archers kind of as well. Like it kind of killed the event. How do you see like for me, like I'd like to see more club cooperation. Like right now, Valerie and I are working with like Forest City Archers. We're planning to do not necessarily a league, but kind of like head-to-head kind of stuff. How do you see that in taking shape with your club? And I know like you and I have talked to and working together. Like you see that as something that can improve archery in Ontario. Can
100% it can improve it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
make it more interesting.
The COVID thing, unfortunately, was a really bad hinge point for archery in Ontario. We went from having uh, the Ontario 3D, which was a circuit that was primarily sort of Belleville, that area. They hosted an amazing event. There was the Seaway Challenge prior to that. I mean, there's always been these interclub things. Unfortunately, yeah, we got to COVID right when the OAA, whatever, the ASA event happened, and it pretty much stopped it in its tracks. Uh, it took the wind out of an awful lot of guys' sails too. Like a lot of the archers, there's a lot of guys that aren't shooting anymore, and it was right around then. Um, so kudos to you guys. The camaraderie, the family feel that Royal is really starting to instill back into archery in the area, and bringing everybody else up with you. Like my hat's off to you guys. And I think that moving forward is going to help. Just there's always got to be somebody that's going to kind of push it in a little bit. But having that family friendship community, I think is just going to bring everything right back to where I don't know if I'd call it a golden age, but back to where I believe it can be. There's so many ideas. I mean, you talk to everybody through archery, and I mean everybody's got these little things that we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. In most cases, I mean these are things that somebody's done before. Like the night shoot that you guys hosted. I hosted one back at Halton, and I mean the idea came from the same person. But all of a sudden these fun little events that just it throws a little bit something different, and all of a sudden it's a little bit out of the norm. um and it brings everybody up. So
Yeah.
that's it is going to take some effort from the people that are hosting the events and putting together everything, but I think it can go a long way.
Yeah, like I think for us, and I don't know how you're feeling about this. Like we used to host 3 tournaments. Usually you do pretty well on 2, and then there's always one that's kind of right because it's I don't know. You can go to a tournament every weekend in Ontario, right? Yeah, even in Southern Ontario, there's going to be a match every weekend. So kind of you're kind of fighting the other club, not necessarily fighting, but you're kind of competing with the other clubs for attention. There's only so many archers, let's be honest. So I guess, and I think that's where we started saying like, let's just do little events. Like let's do this we did a little beginner shoot with Shooter's Choice.
Shooters.
And then you gave me the idea for the night shoot, which you got from somebody else and that sort of thing. And there's some other ideas that obviously I'll like talk to you about off air, but because you've been around a long time, so you know what works and what doesn't work, right? So I like to bounce ideas off you and uh, with regards to that. So, but is there? I'm just trying to think like what can we all
My
improve
focus
on?
is actually
Yeah,
less on the small events. I would rather, and I've said to you before, leave them wanting more. And I think if you put on 5 little events, you've got 5 little events. But if you put on 2 big events, you've got 2 big events.
right.
There's also, as you just said, there's also a little bit less as far as guys stepping on each other's toes. Like there was some discussion earlier on in the year about when tournaments are going to happen next year. And before I actually carve any of my dates in, I'll be talking to you guys, I'll be talking to Halton, I'll be talking all the other clubs that are in the area just to make sure that we're not stepping on anybody's toes. There's no point in having you guys have a shoot and I have a shoot on the same weekend. We're 20 minutes apart.
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's bad enough for those of us that are multidisciplined. So before this year, I hadn't shot Royal in about 10 years. And it was because Lambton Archers hosts a field round every May 2-4.
Mhm.
And we had started shooting a lot more field than 3D. The FDCC thing kind of came around, and I thought, well, I'm going to be part of this. I should actually be part of this. So I think I only shot one field round this year, but I shot about 4 or 5 3Ds, which was really cool. So yeah, a little bit more collaboration, and really, like I wouldn't expect you guys in Lambton Archers to, collaborate, because I mean you're 3 hours apart.
Right.
Like you're drawing different people.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
it's a personal problem that I put field in front of 3D for a
Right.
while.
Right.
But in general, you want to make sure that the other 3D clubs in the area, you pick your own weekends. You guys always do May 2-4. At Galt, I like having, it's a gamble, always is, but I like having the very first weekend in April. You're gambling with the weather. This year, actually, the Saturday for our trad shoot, we had 6 people there, and I can only count 6 because one of them was a pregnant lady with twins. A dear friend of mine. So, and then the second day we had great weather, and we had 30 or 40 people. That same weekend in previous years, if you get really glorious, like a nice warm sunny day, I've seen 80, 90 shooters come out on the first weekend of April.
It's a lot of
I
people.
attribute it to the fact that everybody's just got cabin fever. Like the guys that don't want to shoot the indoor spots, they're just raring to go. And you know what? Come on out. I'm going to put up some 3Ds. Come shoot them with me. So
Yeah, the other thing, I know we discussed this, and actually I was surprised because Julian from Ottawa Archers, he has a very similar idea. Was the is having an indoor tournament, and I know you'd brought up, I can't remember what it was called, but there was like a really large indoor 3D tournament that used to
winter
occur,
cam.
and I know, like, so now if Julian in Ottawa is looking at it, and I know I'm interested in it as well. Like, obviously there's there's a ton of logistical issues. You got to find a venue. But yeah, I think
It's extremely doable.
Yeah.
The very brief evolution of the winter cam, I think it ran for somewhere around 12 years. I think Danielle and I shot that one. I think it was about the second year they ran it, and right through until COVID killed it. The evolution of that, and that one was COVID, because the year it died was when the borders were closed, and about 50% of the archers that were there were Canadian. So all of a sudden they went from having a great big event to half of them couldn't go.
Yeah.
We couldn't cross the border. They tried to push it off. They tried to, relocate. They were doing everything in their power to try and keep it going. And ultimately, just the investment that they had to put in, and they still had to pay out without ever getting their archers coming down to, give them the money. So they had to fold it because they just couldn't afford to keep it going. I would very much like to host something similar to that.
Well, I think it's like your April event, right? People are just dying just to shoot some 3D. Like 3D shooters are very dedicated to that sport, right? They just love shooting 3D. These two guys for sure, they'll attest to that they're 3D shooters. That's what they want to shoot. So, yeah. So if you could have something indoor, or even like you're saying, sometimes early season when you get it, guys are just chomping at the bit because they just want to shoot their bows at some foam animals, right?
I mean, I've been shooting spots for a long time, and yeah, I mean, the highlight of my year was winter camp. I mean, that was probably my favorite shoot to go to. Like, just it was really well run, and it was that break to the winter blahs.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was Family Day weekend. I think that's around the end of February, if I'm not mistaken. That's was when normally around when they were running it. So yeah, like you're still in the winter. Trying to get your yardage marks at that time of year is a bit of a trick. You either need some really warm clothes, or you beg and plead over at Peel Archers and get them to let you come in and sight in your bow. Um,
I
which
know a guy.
we all did. They actually started hosting a winter camp prep
Right on.
where they let people come in for 3 or 4 weekends beforehand just to set up their bows for winter camp.
That's cool.
It was
Nice.
really cool.
Well, have you shot the indoor event at Peel?
Yes.
The indoor Friday?
Yes. Yeah.
How was that? Like, because I know Justin and I don't know if Misha wants to, but I know Justin and I definitely want to go on a Friday and shoot with those guys. So.
It's a great shoot. The only problem that they'd ever run into is just space.
No, okay.
Like, it's I don't know, maybe it's 50 feet wide. Sure, you can get a full 70 meters down range, but it's only about 50 feet wide. So by the time you put, I can't remember how many targets they put out. I want to say it's 20, and you shoot like 3 loops. So maybe it's not 20. I can't remember for sure now. But yeah, you shoot 3 loops, and you end up with whatever your score is. But in a station of, say, 4 people, and then you rotate to a couple of the other stations, maybe it's 12, regardless. And then when they've got a really busy night, you end up with a cycle out. So you'll be in a group, you'll cycle through your stations, and then you'll cycle off for a couple of stations and then cycle back through. Right. So if you ended up with 100 guys, you'd end up with 10 or 12 stations worth of cycle off. So I know the last time I shot, I didn't shoot it last year at all. I shot it the year before, and I think they had it capped to somewhere around 30 or 40 people,
Okay.
something like that. My numbers are probably a little bit off, but yeah, they had to cap it because it's just, you just can't fit that many people in there.
Right. Right. All right. So
It is a great shoot, though. It
Yeah.
is absolutely fantastic. As long as if they're running it the same way, it's really smooth.
Yeah, I think Luis runs it, so it's probably. I don't think it's changing this year. So I think he's running it again this year. I'm looking forward just to go out, just you hang out with a guy, some guys that I haven't seen. I haven't seen all year, so it'll be nice to shoot with some of those guys. Like, but I don't get to shoot with Matodi very often anymore, so it'd be nice to. I know he goes out there quite often, and it's just nice to. Again, it's the whole archery community thing. If we get to hang out with, especially 3D, it's more of a hangout kind of thing than it is. It's a hangout with an archery event attached to it, right? So, but
It's social and it's heckling.
yeah, for sure.
I'd go to that. Yeah, I'd give that one a try.
All right, yeah,
It's a great night. When you guys are going, let me know. I'll join you.
Okay.
I'll send out a mass message on Facebook or something. Cool. So let's get into the quick fire round, Justin. So these are just going to be some quick fire questions. No thinking. Well, you could think of, obviously you're gonna have to think, but just some quick answers, or as quick as you can give them. I know Julian Smart had a hard time giving quick answers. Quick fire round. Let's go.
Okay, so orange. It's actually orange. No. What, in your opinion, is the best 3D target manufacturer?
Both of the big two make really good quality targets. Outside of that, I think Mackenzie makes, obviously because of contracts, they make a much more consistent ASA scoring target, which is the way Galt will be going. Reinhardt, I think probably more accessibility. Reinhardt was a lot more popular in Southern Ontario at any rate for a long time. I believe that both are good quality targets.
Right on. Keeping on the topic of targets, what is the target that you feel is the hardest to pull an arrow out of?
A really old Mackenzie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So some of those really old ones, when they start getting petrified, yeah, it's your arrow sticks in, and I've we call it schmutz, but when you pull your arrow out and still half of the target stuck to your arrow, yeah, a lot of the time those are old Mackenzies.
That's fair.
What's a bow you miss the most?
Bows that I've had, or bows that I don't know. I define that more.
So I guess a bow you've had in the past that you miss the most.
I can't answer that because all the bows I really liked, I still have. I still have PSE Freak. I have one stashed away in the basement. I shot some of my at that point. I shot some of my best scores with it. I have my Pink Pearson, and I will never get rid of that one. And I shot a lot of my best scores with that one. And yeah, moving forward, it's my reckoning is an awfully nice bow.
That's for sure.
That's the 36, right?
No, I shoot the 39 Gen 2.
Very
Daniela shoots a 36 Gen 2. I have the 39. I run it on Comfort Mod. It may be one of the smoothest bows I've ever shot. With a string stop, but that thing stops like it's a limb stop. It is an insanely solid wall. It is a super forgiving bow. Yeah.
No.
And I can't say I miss it because I'm still shooting it.
Staying on the topic of bows, I like to ask all of our guests this question. What is your dream bow setup?
So I think the last time you asked that question, you said with unlimited money, and that really wouldn't even change it because my current bow, well, all of my bows, I'm still shooting an AX3000 for a sight, which I think they stopped making those 10 years ago.
Yeah, I still have that.
It's but I mean the thing is rock solid. It doesn't move. It's reliable. It's one of those. It's an old reliable. It just does what it has to do. I'm still shooting Spot Hog Edge blade rest on all of my target bows, all of my tournament bows. I switched to that way back, and I haven't changed. Again, I know they still make the Edge. I don't know how long I've even had them. Probably something in the neighborhood of 10 years. I'm shooting Doinker Platinums for stabilizers. They are, again, probably 10 or 15 years old. I believe I bought those secondhand. And they do the job. All it does is hold weight, eats up some of the vibration, but the fact that it holds as much weight as I like to put on my bars is handy. And I don't run nearly as much weight as I used to. I think at one point I was running 20 ounces up front and about 24 out back.
A lot of weight.
And you got long bars
That's
too,
nuts.
so that's a lot of weight.
30 up front, and I can't remember now if I've got a 15 on the back or an 18 on the back.
Okay,
But
okay.
I have long arms, so
I'll change the question then. For the new bows that came out this year, and the ones that came out last year, between all of those, if you had to choose one.
I have a proven 34.
Okay, fair enough.
So target wise, there's nothing else that's kind of tickled my fancy over the reckoning right now. Hunting wise, and the big push for me for that was I went and did tack this year. So yeah, the proven 34, I drew it back. It is an insanely smooth bow. I got this one at 70 pounds. Normally for any of my target or competition setups, I don't shoot over 58. And that's just because of the world archery limitation. You're not supposed to shoot over 60 pounds. I give myself just that 2-pound buffer, which is why I shoot 58. But for tack, I think we had 130-yard moose. So yeah, little bit extra weight, a little bit extra draw weight, kind of seemed like a good idea. So yeah, and then I put, what did I put on it? I put a landslide on it. I have a 3-pin landslide. I put the ratchet drop away, and an old set of doinkers that I just put camo tape around so you can't see what they are.
Nice.
That
So
bow
moving
in
on.
exactly that configuration is my current hunting bow, actually.
Very nice.
Sick.
So moving on from the quick round, let's start wrapping it up here. What's the what do you see for Galt's the future for Galt's 3D program the next 3 years, or any programming really?
We
Because I know
will
you're
be
still in field.
transitioning to Mackenzie ASA.
Awesome.
I think ever since 3D went away from unknown, the big variable now is whether or not you can shoot a smaller spot.
Mhm.
And I mean, you can only push targets out so far. All the clubs only have so much distance. I got a couple of spots I can get some good distance, but you know, you can't put them all out that far. So you got to start giving them a whole risk and reward thing. So we've decided we are going full Mackenzie ASA. Yeah, I think that's the big variable moving forward. I think that's the way the industry is trending. I really like the fact that scoring pattern, a more novice shooter and a more intermediate shooter, because you can still shoot. You can put them at a very reasonable distance. So now they can shoot, your 11s, your safe centers. And then the guys that really want to push themselves start running at those 12s. So it accommodates everybody.
Yeah.
Without, where were you going to find the balance before? You got the guys that are going to shoot clean scores. Doesn't matter where you put the targets.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time you start pushing them to the point that they're only barely running clean scores, you're really punishing your beginner shooters.
Yeah.
You're going to discourage them.
Yeah.
They're going to shoot 153 points and walk away with 10 lost arrows.
Well, what do you think of like an ASA format, like a 2-day 20 round with a shoot off?
I think for a bigger event, I love the format. The other thing that I really like, it would probably be some sort of a hybrid. But the move out rule and the distance class. So instead of bare bow unaided, single string unaided, trad, primitive, whatever. I mean, these are all one riser with limbs and a string,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got 5 classes.
Yeah.
So instead, go to a distance class. So now you're going to shoot known 30, known 35, known 40, known 45, known 50,
Okay.
or whatever, something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
And then to prevent sandbagging, then you incorporate some sort of a move out rule. That's I think the most fair way that I've seen, or some sort of hybrid system of that. I think that's the best route, I think, moving forward. Haven't gone all the way through all of the logistics. This may be a monumental task. It may be quite simple.
Yeah.
But I think that's the direction I would like to see things move.
Yeah. I don't know. I really, I love the shoot off. I want to figure out how to incorporate that into a 1-day event where you can have like I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's exciting. Because the other idea I have, and I know I have a lot of grand ideas, I guess, but not a lot of time to incorporate them. But I would love to like televise these shoot offs, or televise, or whatever you call it, stream them, whatever. Because we have a lot of really good archers here in Ontario. It would be great to showcase these guys. Put them on a, you know, and someone's gonna watch it. Like I guarantee it. If you could have, two guys sitting at a table just doing what PJ Riley do and whoever else he has on as a guest, and just talk with the archer, get them to shoot it. Like I think it would just, it just adds that other element to not only create excitement into the game, but it also in competition. It's like I always equate it to like pickup hockey. You play quick pickup hockey without a referee, nobody cares. You're just skating around, you're having a great time. As soon as you add that referee, guys get really competitive. And I think when you add these elements to the game, people get very competitive, and it just gets it adds a little more seriousness to it and a little more excitement to it. So anyway,
I love the head to head. I love the heads up.
Yeah.
Like I shot hunter for one round this year. First time I've done that in 15 years. And all of a sudden there was a new group of guys I was shooting off against, and that was so cool. That was so cool. And yeah, I mean, the open guys, I know exactly who they are. I've been shooting against all of them for the past however many years. The hunter guys, I mean, I knew some of them, but I never actually shot with them. Actually, I went up to Misha the first half round because I had no clue where I was. I had no clue. Shot a score. Okay, so what's the benchmark? And yeah, I found out the benchmark. That was.
I said I'm not doing too well. He said, "Well, what's great for you?" I said, "Like 200 plus is a good day for me." And he said, "All right, I'll shut up then." I was like, "What are you shooting?" You're like 16 up. I'm like, "Fuck you." Oh God, it's like just a whole nother level.
It was really cool because it was a group of guys that I hadn't shot, and I had no idea where I was going to end up. I had no clue. And it was you guys kept me on my toes because okay, well, what is the benchmark here? I guess I got to focus, and I kicked the squirrels out for half round. Some of them came back on the second half a little bit, unfortunately. Particularly that really gorgeous creek deer, the very last target they had at that.
Oh, I love that one.
It was a great target.
That was one of the nicest scenery shots I've seen in a long time, and I botched it. I threw a 5.
Do you see how many arrows were in that tree?
No,
I didn't see any arrows in the tree.
Oh, there was arrows in that tree. By the time we got there, we're like, huh, shit, that sucks.
I didn't see
so
any.
the rest of Galt moving forward, field this year. I have a couple other big ideas that I'd like to throw in there. That's going to be a lot more planning. I want to get the field set up. I want to get 3D up to the whole ASA standard that I'm looking for, and then I'm going to start with some more novelty type one-offs, something to really just throw a wrench at people. Just out there to have some fun. We're not looking for an ASA practice. This is going to be beer shots.
Okay. So, what's your biggest letdown moment this year?
This year. So the problem is that kind of like Justin said about how do you forget the last shot? Well, that's literally what I do. I forget it. Everything is ebbs and flows. You're going to have some good shots. You're going to throw a 5 on a gorgeous scenery shot. But the next shot is going to be a good one. Reel things back in, center them back up, and just make a solid shot. So I don't know that I really had a letdown this year. They were just everything was just sort of status quo. It was you learn from the bad ones and you celebrate the good ones. You know, Focus better. Kick the squirrels out.
Well, then I'll ask you another question then about letdowns. Can you convince my wife that letting down is good for her?
She's not gonna like me, and this starts bearing the same sort of training regimen as that push pin. You know what? You guys have all seen me shoot at least a little bit, and I mean, I'll shoot a course 3 times over. I'd let down probably at least once per target. If it's not right, then just let it down and recenter it. And I think if I, through my archery career, if I ever had a key learning moment, that was probably it, was learning to accept that the shot wasn't right and just reset it. I had an indoor round one year. It was a world archery round, and I didn't get all of my arrows off because I had kind of put myself into a training mode where it didn't matter. I wasn't going to break a record, but I was training myself to just accept that the shot wasn't right and fix it.
Good mentality. So on that note, we'll wrap things up. Josh, thanks for hanging out with us today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I
And
enjoyed your
Galt,
company, man.
yeah, Galt is super lucky to have you as their archery director.
I
You-
appreciate that.
You've done a hell of a job, man.
Yeah.
Definitely
I
have
do
to
look
see you out
forward
on
to
the
shooting there again.
field course this year. Well, I think we'll set up some kind of letdown event. I think it'll be fun.
That'd be cool.
All right, so
Standing invite. Need you guys to come out and shoot some field.
we're in. We're in for
Awesome.
sure.
I'm there.
Yeah, so that was episode 11, guys. The letdown. See you next week. Welcome back to the letdown. Today we've got a guy whose trophy shelf has more structural integrity than half the 3D targets in Ontario.
He's the hammer behind the Galt Sportsman Club. Dude, you said that and I forgot my line.
Jesus Christ. You're killing it. Welcome back to the letdown. Today we've got a guy whose trophy shelf has more structural integrity than half the 3D targets in Ontario.
He's the hammer behind Galt Sportsman Club. Sorry, that was my bad. That's my bad. I was like, wait.